Hi, Bill Henshaw here again, Constitutional Coop Headquarters, and more things in the recent news. This time we're going to be talking about Representative Paul Gosar from Arizona, who just managed to get himself censured by the House of Representatives for a ludicrous video involving ALC and Biden, and his attempts to take them down. So you have to wonder about the mindset here. And this guy, by the way, Gosar, is an admitted open white supremacist. And I'm going to say at the outset, so am I, Paul, but for strikingly different reasons. I know what happened in this nation and republic, especially during the war between the states and Reconstruction, and how it fundamentally changed our government from a federated Republican government of defined and limited powers to a democracy. 3 wolves and 2 sheep voting on what's for dinner. The sooner we get rid of this BS, the better off we're going to be. And it doesn't get done by doing videos. It gets done by understanding the proper perspective of the way things are and what we can do about it. And you, of all people, should know, with the original intent of the framers of the Constitution, that the sovereign body politic here, being 3 white, male, and 21, with the government, the relationship is principal and agent. We tell them what to do. Now it's more courtesy of the 14th Amendment to, at best, what they call guardian and ward, which you might as well say for what it really is, master and slave. There hasn't been any changes at all in the last 160 years, except that all of us are now slaves. At least that's what they think, born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Amendment doesn't exist. It never existed. And if you had done your homework in the area that you profess to believe, you'd know this as well as I do. That's what needs to change. We get back to that government, like I said, not perfect, but a much better starting place, and we can make changes then in conformance with the Constitution, not in contravention of it. And you're in the same situation too, because guess what? If you're in the House of Representatives or the Senate, for that matter, neither of which had any qualified members in either department and haven't for over 100 years, to even be a registered voter, you have to declare under penalty of perjury that you owe your birthright citizenship to Section 1 of the non-existent 14th War Amendment. If that's you, you're not, a lawful de jure jus sanguinis free white state citizen. You're a slave. And that's the way it is. I mean, there's no nice way to put that. And here you are in the House of Representatives, and if you've read your Constitution, you would know Article 1, Section 2. What does that say? Qualified members of the House of Representatives, among other things, must be inhabitants of the state they represent. No states, no possible way to have any representatives, no quorum to do business, no ratio of representation, nothing. Same thing is true for United States Senator, which remains an appointed position by state legislatures, assuming arguendo that we have any states remaining which were admitted into this union. And as you'll learn from acquiring my modestly priced materials, none do. Send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com. Could be a life-changing experience for you to understand what I've learned over the course of my studies in 5 decades and now 15 years all in. And you wake up and you won't get it right away. I was a slow learner myself. It took me 10,000 hours in those musty old stacks of law books back in the day at UC Berkeley and Hastings when I could get into those law libraries, which I can't do now. Got no ID, no vaccination. See you later. But I did my work, and it shows. I can talk a cappella. My God, you get me in front of a jury. And by the way, one of the things you get with me, get my materials is you get a complimentary Zoom appearance at a contested hearing, ideally in front of a jury. And you ask me question number 1 on constitutional law Monday morning. We might get to question 2 Tuesday afternoon. That's the extent of the ability I have. It's God-given. I'm thankful for it, that I can do it. They can't stop me because you have a right to present your theory of the case to a jury. In fact, I'm sure that Julius Jones would have loved to have been aware of back in the day, but it didn't happen there, and it's not happening now, unless or until we demand it and do so with attitude and with authority. And you can learn to do that by getting my materials. Send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. Like I say, you won't get it overnight. You're going to have your work to do there. But with my materials, you get complimentary phone consultations, complimentary updates on all documents for a year, as much TLC, via email as I can provide. And as I said, even a complimentary Zoom appearance in one of your cases. And that stops it, because they can't have me on there getting things on the record, because every issue we raise convicts all of these bastards of treason, which is exactly what it is they're doing. You don't care whether you're a local dumbass, a bipolar bastard, wherever the hell you are, you haven't been appointed, and you sure as hell haven't been elected. Where is the consent of the governed here? Ain't nowhere in sight. This is what has to change. We have an unprecedented window of opportunity right now. It may be the last one we ever get. Who knows? And at my age, particularly, I may never see it again. Just something you wait for, and when it happens. And now with the 9/0 Bart seemingly on track here, as I said from videos earlier in the year on their last term in the court, they gave indications of this. And I expect to see results, and especially now with the Fifth Circuit having summarily overruled the OSHA mandatory COVID vaccination, which is exactly what they should have done in no uncertain terms and sounding exactly like me. If they're prepared to go into the issue of the extent of the Commerce Clause powers of Congress, that's the message we want to hear, because that's where most of this crap comes from. Doesn't matter whether you're in criminal court, IRS, family court, most particularly, doesn't matter where it is, mortgages, student loans, you name it. The issues are all the same. You're not in a judicial court, and we have the right to be there from day one. The fact they conveniently omitted to tell you, especially with any agreements you entered into, they didn't tell you they were using undefined dollars, and who knows what else. At common law, that's an affirmative defense. If you could get into a common law court, this is simple litigation. They don't have a leg to stand on, and they don't have any status and standing to be there either, as you'll learn from getting my materials. So send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com, and learn all about this. And you get a lot of complimentary bonus items with it, and a lot of backup from me. I'm going to have your back here. So it's all good news, and it's just getting better and better as the time goes on here. More people are becoming aware, at least to an extent, of what's going on here. I'm trying to give people a quick education in exactly what it is and why, which you're never going to get in the mandatory public education system, and not even law schools these days, especially UC Berkeley over there, and Starboard, Dale, you name it. They're not teaching this stuff anymore. And they may not have been since, well, maybe the late 40s, when Rehnquist and O'Connor were, I think, in the same class at Stanford University. Back then, they may actually have gotten some of this stuff. Nowadays, the original intent, rights of state citizens, limits on jurisdiction, see you later, never gets mentioned anywhere, because they don't think we have any rights they're bound to respect. And if that's the case, that needs to be changed, much more so than you can believe. And it benefits us, benefits your children, your posterity. It's worth making the effort. And you will have some work to do. Who is it? Franklin said, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. But it'll be a lot easier for you than it was for me. I was a slow learner. I didn't get it overnight either. When I finally did, I was stunned. And you will be too, at what's really going on here. It's so simple when you get the right perspective on it. And that's what it is we have to do. So that said, like I say, send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. Subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The sooner we all start working together across the board, Africans, Asians, and Americans, the quicker we get these bastards off our backs. Thank you.